Okay, we just. Good morning, everybody. It's Catherine Cook here at the Engine. I am a leading business advisor. Oh, we need to have the phone turned off. Sorry, we'll start that again. We're having so much fun at the beach and the hot pools. We forgot to turn our phones down. Anyway, good morning, everybody. It's Catherine Cook here again, leading business advisor and founder of the Engine, and I am really humbled and grateful to have two of my clients here today. I've got Charles George from Colonial Hot Tubs, aka CHUBB. Colonial Hot Tubs has been running since 1973, and also joining us is my other client, Darrell Smith, leading master landscaper and also the go-to guy for TV on Landsmiths, from Landsmiths, and he's been doing landscaping for the last 30 years across Auckland and the wider region of Auckland. So welcome to both of you. Thank you for joining me here today. That was a great start, Charles. I hope it was somebody ringing for a hot tub. Anyway, look, the reason I've got both of you here today is obviously when we started the journey some 3-4 years ago, you needed to build trust with me. And I also needed to look for opportunities for both of you. And I brought the two of you together, which in itself is not as easy as it sounds, because when you align your brand with another person's brand, you've actually got to understand who they are. So collaboration, before we can go and collaborate with people, we've got to build trust, but collaboration also shows leadership. I'm going to start with you first, Charles, if you don't mind. Because I pitched the idea to you. I said to you, hey, Charles, you've got these hot tubs, you're putting them in. What's happening in the landscaping front? And so for me to introduce you to Darrell, can you talk the viewers through the process of what was going on through your mind at the time I even mentioned it to you?
Yeah, so I'm always open to new ideas, particularly, and it always seemed like a good fit, and it's just taking that first step to, okay, what's the first step? Oh, we'll catch up, we'll have a phone call, we'll have a chat, and then in actual fact, the first time you actually do a job together, there's always a little bit of figuring it all out, and you know, but it's got to be a two-way street. So both people have to benefit from it, and both people have to want to do it, and that, you know, choosing people that you can work with, you know, it's as simple as having a coffee to meet someone, or a phone call to catch up, and you can pretty much tell, oh, that guy seems all right, whatever your type of person is, you know, and I reckon I could work with them. And so the first thought was, oh yeah, that sounds like a great idea, and then the first step of making a phone call or just getting on with it, squeezing it into the schedule, was no problem at all. Once it happened, then it was pretty quick, actually. I think Darrell and I did a job together, and it rolls on from there. It doesn't have to be something that happens all the time, but you know, at the right person and the right client, it'll just pop up, and synergy works if, you know, each of us will choose which job to do it on.
That's great, Charles. And I'm going to cross over to you, Darrell. Are you in Nandi, Suva, or where are you right now?
This one actually is in Nandi, yes.
Oh, how good am I? Is that the
I know you are so good. You probably stayed at this resort. Actually, I was just you know, on a sideline there. I was fortunate to go to Roro just before we locked down last time. So, you know, maybe I should change my background to represent that. But anyway, we need a little bit of a boost, do we not, in these times?
So, Darrell, just talking about what Charles was mentioning about, you know, obviously having that first coffee. You know, you've been working with suppliers for, you know, the last 30 years, but you didn't have hot tubs. And so I had to say to you, hey, here's somebody who's got a really good premium product that fits your premium customer. And you know, what I love about you, Darrell, is that when you go to a job, you're not just thinking about, you know, you're hearing what the customer is saying, but you're also thinking about how you can collaborate with key suppliers like Charles and how a hot tub could be a solution. So you guys are currently, or you did work on a job last week, if I remember. And
we are still working here. We've got one in progress. It went in last week. We all worked to make that happen for the client. The client's over the moon. I've had my Sparky in there. It was all hooked up and they're currently using it. So that's a really good result, I believe. And Charles and I had a good catch up on site there. And it's not that often we run into one another, but over the last years, as Charles has said, we've caught up, we've had the conversations, we've built the trust with each other, we respect each other's brand and each other's product, which is really what this is about. And he's able to lead me onto some stuff. I'm able to help him and his client cite some of these things on the sites. And also, you know, we've got Colonial Hot Tubs as part of our management forward with our wording and stuff. So in our advertising. So we're hopeful that we will be helping him to sell his product as well to our clients.
And not just selling product, you guys are actually working on some joint marketing initiatives, and you know, obviously we're working on a sales page right now, because let's face it, you can't just you know, the myth of actually just going and buying a pool, a hot tub, and popping it in, it just doesn't work. Darrell, right?
No, it doesn't work at all, mate. There's so much involved. There's so many rules and regulations. There's so many products that the client needs to have advice on. It's a big circle.
Absolutely. And I mean, Charles, your tubs come with a lockable lid, right? So, you know, most clients would think, oh, it's lockable, I can just plonk it down. But there's so many other factors, like getting, you know, platforms leveled and all that sort of thing. So,
Fencing and Swimming Pools Act.
Yeah. What's that, Darrell? Sorry?
The Fencing and Swimming Pools Act needs to be adhered to.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's why we send them your way, Darrell. We don't want saying we just want to know it's in place. So Charles, in terms of your hot tubs, I mean, you've been, you know, supplying these since 1973, and I know you took over the business, I think it was around 2011, is that right?
Correct, yeah.
Yeah, 2011. So, you know, that's quite a mammoth amount of time that you've been operating and actually putting health and wellness in people's backyards, right? So, you know, what's your first step of talking to someone about a hot tub?
So, well, I guess to take a step back, we developed a tub called the Plug and Play to make installations a bit more simple and make the product more efficient and work better. But around that, there are lots of different options you can have. If you want the running costs to be less, you can put a heat pump on it. If you want to use less chemicals, you can put ozone on it. So our conversations now are more based around, as Darrell says, how to site the tub, where to put it, the best location. We've done thousands of these things now, so we can look at a backyard and go, well, it would probably be better there than over there, and offer our opinions at what we think will work well for the client. But at the same time, the client just gets what they want. And once we've figured out what they want, how to do it, that's when Darrell and I would kick in that instance, and we have a conversation about what's the best way to do this, the most efficient way to install, when to install, how to do the deck around it, and things like that. So we can just drop it on a deck and plug it in and turn it on. But for us, the best installations are the ones where it's a bit more involved, and you know, you create something quite special, and that generally takes a collaboration between someone like Darrell and myself to make that happen.
And I like how you said make something special, because that's really what both of you are doing. And you know, Darrell, you've worked on some very premium properties across Auckland, and you know, to be able to, you know, have that trust with those clients, because you know, a lot of them are very private people. But you know, they've also been you know, sort of very open to you being able to take photos and videos and being able to promote it. So how do you build that trust with your clients? You know, obviously, you know, not just being on the property, but you know, other suppliers coming in.
Yeah, well, there you go. And that's the value of this sort of collaboration, you know. And Charles and I, not only from a business point of view, we've kind of hit it off as well. Kind of personally, we're both sailors, so we've got, you know, so we've, you know, and that's the beauty of these things, isn't it? The whole relationship thing can blossom, and it's not just about business, and that's what makes it so lovely. And you know what? It's Charles's company, like mine, it's the family-owned businesses, and that in itself, a Kiwi family-owned business has, in my view, you know, a lot of really great value. And so what I like about Colonial Hot Tubs is I know their brand, I know their values, and I can faithfully introduce them to my clients, knowing that they're only going to get the best product, but also the best service. And we're all going to be working towards getting the absolute best result for the client. And that's where that trust comes from, Catherine.
Wow, that's an amazing testimonial you just got there, Charles. So we'll just bottle that up and stick that on Google.
It's a two-way street, that though.
Yeah, look, you know, what I really want to say to the viewers also is how you both have stepped out of your business and been really open to actually meeting other people, because before I came along, you weren't really doing that. You know, you were so busy working in your businesses that it's really hard to see opportunity. And so, Darrell, you know, I remember when I first took you to networking, kicking, screaming, and Catherine, is this really what I need to do? But you just love it now, right?
Yeah, right. I really do dig it. It's I've met so many wonderful people. It's been absolutely fantastic. And you know what? Like many small businesses, I've just been inundated and in my space. I actually love what I do, right? I still really love what I do. So you had to drag me kicking and screaming, right? But thank you, because it's broadened my horizons. I've met so many wonderful people, and it's been a blast. It really has.
Yeah, and we're still yet to drag Charles along to one of our Waiheke excursions, and he's always got a reasonably good excuse.
Watch out, mate.
He's running out of runway now. He really is. So, Charles, I really encourage you to join us on our next excursion. It may be Waiheke, it may not. There's talk of Waiheke separating itself from Auckland City at the moment, so that's an interesting conversation. But look, let's talk about, you know, the pooling of the talent. As I said, you're working on some joint marketing initiatives. So, you know, some of those initiatives, I mean, Darrell, we're talking about, obviously, you know, a TV show with landscaping and
Yes.
by Landsmiths.
Yes.
And so, you know, there's opportunities for your suppliers to be involved in that, right?
Yes, absolutely. You know, and it covers off on so many things, and this possibility is just ever growing, isn't it? And we've talked about this in depth, Catherine. And you know, the fact that we can have Charles on there with these products, and we can talk about them in depth, and we can talk about the pros and cons of where this might go, and where in your garden your best fit is, what materials you can use, and then, you know, my team here, we design this up in a 3D CAD drawing, and the client can get a really good sense of all these things. So right across the board, from sharing what may well initially be just one small simple job, we can be expanding out into the stratosphere, really.
Absolutely, and also sharing costs and doing that. So, for example, we're currently putting together some lead pages, and it's a collaborative of, you know, how a hot tub and landscaping goes together. You can both go and do those lead pages on your own, but if you can collaborate together, then you've both got something you can market together. So, Charles, you know, you're really big on marketing, and that's the one thing, you know, that really struck me when I first met you, is you're really passionate about your brand, and you're really passionate about the storytelling and the showcasing, but you broadened your horizons as well. And you realize that, you know, the home show isn't just going to cut it. You've really got to be visible. And you've got such an amazing community on Facebook. So much that when I put up a happy birthday, and for those of you that are watching this, Charles and I were born in the same year, so we won't say what year it was, but it was a big year, and we've just had a big birthday. But when I put up a happy birthday on your Facebook page, Charles, the amount of responses was just phenomenal. So, you know, obviously when people are there, they also get to see, obviously, Darrell. Darrell's there on your page as well. So that's the power of collaboration. But Charles, talk me through, obviously, your journey. You know, you've going through COVID right now, you know, like all other businesses out there. You've been fortunate enough that you can come back in level 3 and start working. What are the challenges that you faced with returning to work?
Well, I guess one of the biggest things is that the way we have to operate in level 3 creates a lot of inefficiency. You know, whether it happens or not, you're supposed to clean down every surface you touch, or every cup you use, or you know, everything. And then when you go to site, you've got to socially distance. Trying to get something done generally takes a lot longer than it has done in the past. Getting materials and spare parts and things is becoming a real issue. Like, it was hard after the last year's lockdowns, but I think it's only going to be exacerbated by this one. And the price of everything is just going through the roof. So we sort of trying to find a happy medium by do as much as we can, keep customers happy, but we're a small team. Some of the team can't even be here because they've got small kids, and it's just kind of one of those things there. You just have to muddle on and do what you can, and if you can not upset your customers, you're doing pretty well, but it's just trying to please everyone really is probably the hardest part. It seems that everyone went into lockdown and has had their spa pools or hot tubs turned off for most of the year, and all of a sudden they want to use them, and hang on, something's wrong, or I need some more chemicals, or I need this, that, and the other. Surely they can get that to me, but and we're trying, but it's that'll be one of the bigger challenges. But where we have been lucky is that through the collaborations that we've had, things like Facebook communities, for example, my community on its own is great, but my community coupled with Darrell's is fantastic. So knowing that we're getting engagement with more people in the first instance is really helpful, and that side of it seems to be ticking along. And right now the hardest thing is we can't install hot tubs outside of Auckland. We can freight hot tubs to places, but some of them it's just not an option. So we've got a heap of orders that we can't actually fulfill. So the job that Darrell and I just did in town was a customer that was only a week old. We're booked out till Christmas, but this guy had the money, the site was ready. Well, we can install that tub now. Let's do that, simply because we can. Where a lot of other sites have been stocked and we can't install that tub, we can't do that, we can't send that. So this was a collaboration that wouldn't have happened. Yes. And right now, as you've just said, cash is king, and if we can get a job done in a week, have it installed, the customer's stoked, he's happy to give us the money. We need the money right now. So it's things like that. That's just a one example of how powerful this can be.
Yeah, mate. And so I was going to say, we've actually got one other one there that Mark spoke to me about this morning, Charles, down the road here from where I am. And we'll just make that happen, mate. We'll go down, have the consultation. We'll do whatever design work's necessary. We'll be efficient with, offering our services ASAP. So it gives you guys something to carry on with as well, seeing you have got some difficulties outside of Auckland in stores.
Yeah, look, I love that. I love the way that you guys are prioritizing each other for the benefit of your business. And Charles, it's really interesting that you see cash is king. So it goes to show you read my newsletter for the week that was sent. So 10 out of 10.
Fair to say I'm doing a lot of things that I never did before I met you, Catherine.
I hope they're all good. We can come back to that in a minute. We won't quiz Darrell as to whether he's read his newsletter yet, but I know we had a pretty full-on day yesterday. Anyway, back to the positive things though that I want to talk about is COVID has actually brought growth for you guys outside of COVID. Because you used the time in COVID to work really hard on your businesses. Both of you have popped out with a real plan, a strategy that we worked on, and we worked on that with the support of previously ATEED and now Auckland Unlimited. And I know for the respective growth advisors that have supported you, like for example with you, Charles, Julianne from Auckland Unlimited, she's absolutely in awe with what you've done with your business, and just the way you talk differently and more positively about it. I'm not saying you weren't positive before, but she can see that you've definitely made some gain. And you, Darrell, you've had obviously Wendy and Jennifer at Auckland Unlimited that you've spoken to, and they've equally, spoken very highly about the gains that you've made. Right. So, the gains that I see very visibly is that you're hiring people, and that also presents a challenge. There's a shortage out there. So, I've seen both of you just about lose all your hair over. Sorry, Darrell, that was meant to be funny. Lose all your hair over and trying to find people. but you keep going and both of you are hiring. So that's positive. So, but Darrell, it has been really hard, hasn't it? Trying to get people out there.
And it's not only getting people, Catherine, is it? It's getting the right people, Once again, just reverting back to what I said before. I mean, my company, we're just a small to medium-sized company, right? We haven't got 20 or 30 or 40 or 50 staff. So, and I didn't even know how those people would even manage these days, needing large staffs and large teams. We just need specific good people, because that's all I'm interested in. And with your help, we've updated all our staff, we've covered off on everything, and we have 1 or 2 under contract at the moment. So that's really helpful for us, but it has been difficult, yes.
And Charles, it's been extremely difficult for you as well, because I mean, obviously your people are quite, the people, and obviously being put into a lockdown of not being able to talk to people. It's been really tough. And trying to bring them back in to the workforce, and you still, like you said, you still got some in and some out. So how do you manage and balance that as a business owner right now in these COVID times?
Yes, I sort of my mantra is don't manage what you can't. Well, don't manage what you can't control, right? And so it's sort of it is what it is, and it's a bit like when my hot tub, the last hot tub builder that I had, and it's not rocket science, but you can't walk off the street and do it, became ill and had to suddenly leave. I was left back on the tools, and that was, which I absolutely don't mind, but it meant that all my marketing, everything else that I was supposed to be doing, suffered. It took me months and months and months to find another person, and right now I'm still in the process of training them up. I have to sort of be involved at every stage of the building of the hot tub to make sure that things happen exactly the way that I want them to happen. But it's it is just a bit of a case of shut up and get on with it. If you have to go back on the tools, do it. And I'm sure Darrell's the same. I've seen him laying blocks on site with his special hat on. It's not easy. Prioritize. Think, like I said, my marketing and everything in my office suffered, but because I was on the tools. But without tubs going out the door, we've got nothing. So bit of that going on.
And look, just while we've got you here, I mean, I always say to both of you, and you just said, control what you can control. But quite often we're trying to manage everything other than ourselves. So how do you look after yourself, Charles?
Exercise is a big thing for me, and and it always has been, and I am quite big on taking time for myself as well. Every now and then, so I'll go from home to my fantastic home life, but it's busy. I've got 3 young kids, so the time between the office and home, I'll more often than not, or whenever time and work allows me, I'll ride to and from work, just because that's my 45 minutes on the bike on my own, and I'm getting my exercise and I'm on my way to work type thing. So exercise is really big for me, and just every now and then just take a little time to step back and think for yourself.
Absolutely. And Darrell, what about you? What do you do? Look
Party
after
hard,
you.
mate. Party hard.
Well, I forgot to mention that. That's a big part of it too.
No,
we were born in a different decade. Just like
yeah, mate. Yeah. No, just keep on rocking. Just it's different times, all right, and we need to approach things differently. Lately, I've just been concentrating on having fun as much as possible, surrounding yourself with the best people possible, keeping your spirits up, being supportive where necessary with other people, because some people just haven't been coping. And so, but I agree with Charles. I do a lot of exercise. I have a spa in my own garden, so I'm in that environment every morning. I start with the exercise, meditation, setting my day up with affirmations, which I think most small businesses do. You need to actually really focus really hard, and focus really hard on yourself, because it's bloody hard work sometimes, is it not?
Yeah, look, we've got a strategy, Charles, haven't we, to sort out that plastic pool that he has in his backyard.
Yeah, I know. I've got
he did actually have it before you guys met. Hey, look, the other thing I wanted to do with you guys today, I mean, obviously, hopefully the viewers can see the benefit of collaboration. I mean, you guys have brought business to each other, and you know, and that in itself is the power of collaboration, is the power of connecting with other people. And, you know, Darrell, in your business particularly, I've introduced you to some other people that you're actually working with as well, and that's brought business that you wouldn't have normally had. But I guess really what I would like you both to do is not necessarily to give me a testimonial, but if you could tell the viewers how having somebody like me has benefited your business, because there's a lot of people out there that are still very much aligned, that can't justify the cost of having a business with it. And I stated to them, forget the cost, think of the value, think of the growth. But that's just me talking about me. If I start with you, Darrell, what would you say to people out there?
Well, number one, Catherine, you just hit on a very good point. And there, you know, with anything, with any investment in your business, and this is an investment, right? Me spending time with you is an investment for me. It has a cost attached to it. Now, to be perfectly frank, after how many years we've been working together, 4 years or some such now, I could not afford not to have you on my side and on my team, Catherine. So, and that goes across everything, you know, from employment contracts right through to what we're talking about now, marketing potentials and collaboration and all those other, and there's been so many, right? I could not afford not to be doing that now, right? Honestly.
Oh,
That's
thanks, Darrell.
pretty much what I was going to say is if you think you can't afford it, I think you can't afford not to, you know.
You stole it out of my newsletter.
Did I? Oh.
Didn't I say that? Didn't I say if you can't afford to lose the money, then you can afford to pay the cost? That was newsletter.
Oh, Charles.
Reading my newsletters. But Charles, did you have anything more to add on that?
Yeah, look, I think naturally a lot of people sometimes it's hard to look outside your circle or your comfort zone. And one thing that you have done for me, Catherine, is forced me to look outside what I am comfortable with and what I normally do, and that has led to so many benefits for Colonial Hot Tubs. Not only Colonial Hot Tubs, but personally for me as well. And yeah, look, it's I can't rate it highly enough. Like much like Darrell says, you know, I couldn't do without it now. And who knows how long it's going to go on for, Catherine. You know, where are we going with this?
Well, I just want to yeah, exactly. I just want to say to the viewers, with Darrell kicking and screaming and Charles staying forcing, they're both smiling. So really what they're saying is that they've had an opportunity to really actually step outside their business with someone who they feel that they can trust, guide them into different directions. And sometimes it might take a little bit longer to get there with something, but the reality is that I don't even view both of you as clients. I view you both as friends. I know your families well. You know, I know what you do. I know what makes you tick. I know what makes you sad. I know when to call you. And for me, it's not a client relationship. You know, this is a partnership, and I'm here for as long as you want me to be here. And so for the viewers that are watching it, I am going to wrap this up. We're going to get Darrell out of that plastic pool into a hot tub at some point to watch the space. But if you are looking for some really key opportunities to upgrade your backyard, contact Landsmiths, you know, for the small investment of the holiday that you can't have overseas. You'll be able to get a great gain on capital gains on your property, as well as have that oasis in the backyard. And what better to do it under the stars than in a colonial hot tub, a cedar colonial hot tub, you know, plug and play. How simple is that? Put it in. You can't just plug it in. You still need Darrell to level it off, make sure it all works, make sure it meets the safety standards. Thank you both for coming on here today. I absolutely love all that you both stand for, the values that you stand for, and it's a real pleasure and my honour to be able to represent both of you. So have a great day, guys, and hopefully viewers have got something really positive today out of collaboration and connecting and growth. Really appreciate it. Take care, guys.
Cheers. Thank you,
guys. Awesome.
Have a good one.
Goodbye.